the crop will thrive and survive in the worst of soils. Millets are also great for all of us. They are highly nutritious crops. They have a wider micronutrient profile than wheat or rice. They are gluten-free. They are high on fiber. They are alkaline. We can sit all day and enumerate the various benefits that millets have. And it is ironically precisely because of all of these reasons that we had stopped eating them. They used to grow on the worst of soils, so who would grow them? People who had the worst of soils, right? So it's because of those reasons that we stopped growing them. So I know my time is up and we are a little short of time. I'm just going to very quickly come to what we do. Ours is a social enterprise. It's called Millets for Health. We are working on bringing millets back through retail. We provide millets through our store. We have a store in Noida. We retail through other people and other stores. We don't just sell millets. I work aggressively on bringing millets back to the table and increasing the nutritional profile that we expose ourselves to. We are talking about nutritional diversity. So I conduct cooking workshops on how to cook with millets, how we can easily include millets in our diet. We do millet-based catering, so we take food, and we find that it's only through activities and interventions like this that people start becoming more familiar with these grains once again. And I think in the end, a little thing that I would like to leave with is what inspires us and our team to keep growing and to keep going. I meet a lot of parents with whether children have ADHD or on the autism spectrum. I recently met this one woman who came to our little experience center that we have in Noida, where we talk about experiencing millets, and she came and she talked about her child who had a brain stroke due to negligence of doctors. And several years, I mean, he was very young when he had the stroke, about 10 years old, and he's 16 now. But she hadn't given up, and they kept trying on how to make his life better. And they were trying various therapies. They had been advised to go on an alternative gluten-free diet. And that's when she came to me. And it's when I meet parents like this and see their struggles and see what they are trying to do for their children. And they struggle ki, bacche ko ab hum kya khilaye? We don't know what to feed the child. That's what keeps me going. And that's what we're here for. That's what we do, to tell people how to bring these grains back, how to make it more palatable, how to cook it such that it comes back on all our tables. I would just like to leave all of you with one thought. If you've heard the first time about this grain, or you've heard it before and you're re-hearing about millets again, I would urge you to go back, start thinking about how you can include them in your diet, because if you eat millets, then you're not just benefiting yourself, you're benefiting the environment, and you're also benefiting the farmers. Thank you.
Thank you, Pallavi, for helping us innovate right on the dining. So, thank you for leaving us with that message. I'd like to call upon GurAmrit Bhalla, the founder of Shampura Agrobase. Welcome.
Good afternoon, soul sisters and honorable gentlemen. And it is a matter of great honor for me to speak to you here today about innovating in agriculture. I'm just a small-time farmer, so my talk is going to be absolutely concentrating on innovating in agriculture. So I first of all would like to thank my friend Upadhyaya for introducing me to WEF, and Dr. for giving me this opportunity to come and speak to you all today. Now, the thing is that because of paucity of time, I'm going to just share some of my life experiences with you and what I have learned after interacting with the really small basic farmers that we have in our region. 3 years ago, my husband and myself, we decided to go back to our small farm that we own in Uttarakhand, because we were making no money on it, and it wasn't even sustaining itself. So we decided, let's go back and see what we should do, what can we do to earn more money out of it so that it becomes self-sustainable. Once we reached there, to our surprise, we looked around and we saw the other small-time farmers who were there. They were really worse off. And all the stories that we hear about, farmers not making money or that farmers living in misery is absolutely true. Because actually they'll end up earning nothing from what they grow or whatever the land holdings they have. which could be even half an acre or maybe less than half an acre. So we decided that whatever we choose and decide to do for ourselves on our farm, we will introduce the same thing to them so that they can use it in their farms also. And then we discovered to our horror that when we tried to sell those objects to various people in the city, they would not accept it from the smaller farmers. So we were obliged to create a cooperative society. So once there was a cooperative, and then I introduced them in the city under the aegis of the cooperative society, the people were willing to buy that product. Now the main problems our agriculture faces are small fragmented land holdings, lack of funds for good seeds, manure, pesticides, fertilizers, lack of irrigation makes it absolutely impossible for the farmer to access water, good clean water. Because even the water that comes through the canals and the small streams that flow through our villages now is absolutely polluted. It's dirty. So they sometimes... Okay, fine. So what do I do now? Because my message was basically meant to get cooperation from all of you, because, and of course to talk about innovating agriculture, is that we should help them get a better yield from their produce, and we should help them to grow more by teaching them intercropping, and multi-cropping, and to introduce animal husbandry into their lives, and help them have small dairy farms. And okay, so that's one part of it, of course, which is of course a very big task and take a long time to happen. But also the innovation in agriculture that we can do is that in big cities, people can grow food on their rooftops, balconies, gardens, and thus lessen the load on the produce that comes in from the villages, and that way they'll be able to get more fresh food. Now the other thing is that in villages it's more applied differently, because whilst in the urban scenario, the environment, the urban life is mostly male dominated. In villages, women play a more important role in the day-to-day life. That's what this lady just said, that there are more lady farmers who work in the fields than the men. And it's women who are actually more accepting towards new innovations and newer ideas. And they're always coming up and saying, do tell us what we should do and how we should cooperate with you and what we should do to earn better income. And besides that, it was also seen that a lot of young people now do not want to go into, don't want to have anything to do with agriculture on their farms. They just want to come into cities and earn whatever they can and go back home. And when they come to the cities, they find there are no jobs. So, but another thing that was noticed was that the moment they found that this was more interesting, more innovative and lucrative, they started taking interest in it. This not only will improve the hinterland of India, but it will also reduce the large-scale migration into bigger cities. Now they need to be encouraged, they need to be helped, and the other thing that really needs to be done is that we have to encourage them, help them, and introduce them to organizations in big cities which actually bring the food from the farm to the table. Organizations like Farmer Uncle Farms, iOrganic, Farmer Friend, Song Valley, which is my own company. And newer and better techniques need to be innovated so that we can help them produce more food and earn more money. So that is what I feel that is my part of innovating in agriculture. And at this moment, I would request all of you, on any which way that you can, in your own little small way, if you could contribute towards this end by maybe adopting a village or something, and with your knowledge, introducing them to the IT, to the social networking, and teach them how to use it, and also to introduce, and most of all, to take them back to traditional agriculture, because all this organic that we talk about is nothing but traditional agriculture. We are using conventional methods, and traditional was centuries old in India, when we used cow dung manure, urine, ash was used as pesticides, and we totally left that behind when the other chemicals and fertilizers came in. Now we are going back to our traditional methods. We are the ones who actually started all that in our country centuries ago, and that is nothing but organic. And that is the only way for sustenance and for continued better growth in our country. Thank you. So this was
that since there were a lot of speakers on agriculture here, and I'm so glad you took it up, just wanted to share a statistic with everybody. 26 million people from the agriculture sector have left agriculture in the past 5 years. That's 5 million people a year. For a country which needs 300 million people more to feed and give them 2 square meals a day, just on the matter of food security, we need them back. So just wanted to...
Thank you so much, GurAmrit. With that, I'd like to call upon Mr. Raunaq, who's waited his turn a long time. We invite you to please speak with us.
Stuff like that. So I'm going to write down stuff, and that way I want to beat myself. So because of the time constraints also. So my name is Raunaq. I'm from Hyderabad, and I think first I should thank Mrs. Bhargi Narora and Subha Rajan for getting me here to speak. Not that I have much to say, it's like very scattered and nothing specific. So I have no spectacular achievements to my credit towards conservation, which seems to be a basis of this session. I'd like to mention here that I have done a number of things for the welfare of others and some towards nature conservation and all kinds of things. Some concerning women, specifically, some of them were to do with as diverse as removing taboos surrounding menstruation. I have done work on pollution, decongestion of Connaught Place. I have designed the path. I mean, the traffic movement in Connaught Place was designed by me 25 years ago. So people wouldn't use it as a shortcut coming from Janpat to go to the railway station. So I messed it up in such a way, if you enter, you can't go to the other side. You end up going left or right. So that was just to discourage them. And I coined this phrase called clean. I'm from Hyderabad, but I came here, I coined the phrase called clean green Delhi. And I put up potted plants and all that in Connaught Place long back. And that was for Delhi. Other stuff is from Hyderabad. I'm saying about it. I'm mentioning Delhi because you can relate to it better, I suppose. The project I'm kind of famous for, so people think I'm a nut. And I might be more famous someday, is for selecting a space in a large estate, my own large estate, in the middle of the most commercial district of Hyderabad, where all the multinationals are coming up. Like what Gurgaon is here, we have a place called Cyberabad there. So we have Microsoft and really, really big companies. So the estate, the price of real estate is very high. So I had a very large estate, and I decided that I won't give it to any builder. And I just keep it natural. So in that natural place, I have a anyway, if I go out of order there, it'll get longer. So there, it's a very rocky place. It's called Jubilee Hills. So within the hills, I've created a huge 200 feet high hill by collecting stones and putting the right kind of mud and all that. And it has a base of almost 10 acres. 200 feet high. The drive up is like almost a kilometer. It's entirely made by me. This typically leaves on top, like hills are like kind of conical, when you kind of pour something, the base gets wider. So here is like 10 acres and on top you just get half. So it's like a lot of waste of land, and if you talk to a builder, he'll probably have a fit if he has somebody's done that way. Normally they do it the other way around, Normally they remove the hill to get the wider space. So that typically leaves half an acre on top, which is about 1,000 square yards or 2,000 square yards. This eliminates all chances of using the land for construction of any commercial sort of commercial, what you call a colony or something, at least in my lifetime. It's not easy. It's like, just to remove that will take another 10 years, because it took me 10 years to make that hill. So now I'm greening it and I'm making huts. There was a company which took it for a movie. So they had to make a village as a film set. So, and now the government saw that village and they're requesting me to kind of keep it like that, So I think maybe I'll do that. Just like a natural village, how movie sets are. They really, really replicate the exact village just to make the movie. So if I just make it more permanent, normally they make it so it lasts for about 6 months and collapses, only to be visible in the shots, So I'm trying to make it more permanent. So it'll be like a village in the middle of the most, like in central Gurgaon, where all the maximum big companies are, you'll have a village in the middle. It's about 100 acres. And I have a brother I'm trying to convince him. I don't have a family, I'm single, so from my side I don't have anyone to convince. I can do what I want. And I'm anyway dedicating this to the city as a green zone. The other largest green area in Hyderabad is about 400 acres, and it belonged to my cousin, and he was the next designated Nizam. Nizam of Hyderabad. So that was a private house. So they brought a rule saying that no individual person can keep so much, and they took it away. And they didn't even name it after him. That's sad. So anyway, that place is like a plateau, it's flat. And in my case, like, you know, there are a lot of undulations, so it's beautiful. There are beautiful rock formations. And our place is called, you know, the Hyderabad Deccan. Is the first, apparently the first thing that solidified on Earth, when Earth was formed. So it's like some 40,000, 4,000 crore year old, some very, exactly the first thing that formed on Earth was that rock formation. So this is I'm very happy. It's only 5 minutes and I haven't made it. Actually, I'm good because I'm not very good at public speaking. They called me from Hyderabad saying I'm getting an award, and then they gave me this shock saying I have to talk. And I was getting it. And they said like this 5 minutes, I'm the most thrilled guy out here, you know. And they said, don't talk too much. I said, yeah.
Thank you so much, Raunaq, and I think you spoke just wonderfully. So thank you for being with us all the way from Hyderabad. And with that, I invite our last speaker for this evening, His Excellency from the Embassy of the State of Eritrea, Mr. Alam Bode Mariam.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alam, Ambassador of Eritrea, as well as the Dean of all African Head of Missions in India. My speech is a little bit different from the other speakers here. Just I want to give a brief history of my country and our women also. Eritrea is a young country, the youngest country. She got independence in 1991 after 30 years of war of liberation for independence. At this time, the ladies had fought together alongside their brothers. And now also, they are also building their country along with their brothers too. So, in short, the women have been keynote players in Eritrea in the nation building processes, starting from their invaluable participation in the country's independence struggle to their ongoing contributions to the development agenda. Inspired by this powerful legacy, the government of the state of Eritrea has made the empowerment of women a national priority and committed to a development agenda grounded in social justice and gender equality. In promoting economic empowerment of women, extensive legislative measures have been taken. The Land Proclamation, one of the legislation enacted right after independence, ensured women's equal access to land use for housing, subsistence, commercial farming, and cooperatives. Before the women, they never get land. Now they are equal with the male. This has assisted to totally abolish the long-standing traditional land tenure system that obviously discriminated women and denied them access and opportunities. Today, 67.8% of the land at the household level is owned by both men and women, while the remaining 32.2% by women-headed households. In addition to this, the right to property, right to inheritance or succession based on majority is also guaranteed by law. Since the majority of Eritrean women are employed in the agricultural sector, a lot of efforts have been injected by the government of the state of Eritrea and its executive bodies together with the UN partners in promoting and changing the lifestyle of the Eritrean rural women and girls. The Labour Proclamation of 2011 has been a decisive legislative measure that encourages women's employment, economic empowerment, and participation in the private sector. The law ensured equal opportunity for treatment, remuneration, and no discrimination on the basis of sex, maternity protection, and benefits, that is, no termination of contract on the basis of pregnancy or confinement, and the right to reinstate to former job after the end of her maternity leave are some to mention. Today, women represent 45.7% of the labor force, mostly custodial, and 47% in the civil service, showing the employment ratio parity growing steadily. National Union of Eritrean Women, as women's machinery, is striving to promote women's rights and empowerment in all aspects of life by organizing Eritrean women within and the diaspora under its auspices. Currently, over 326,000 women are members, of which 40% are young women in its ranks and file. Is a token of their relentless activism in the last quarter of the century. The Union have developed the third National Gender Action Plan 2015-2019, Women in Economy and Poverty, being one of the critical priority areas harmonizing with the Beijing Platform of Action to improve entrepreneurship skills and credit skills, to strengthen education and marketable skills of women in order to improve their employment opportunity, promote working conditions which are supportive to women. Ladies and gentlemen, the Economic Development Program, the various measures taken to empower women, are not, however, laid out on a bed of roses. They are full of challenges which could require the following interventions: promote science and technology education among young females to ensure high-level experts and professionals, etc., are areas where Eritrean women focus in their future activities to fit in the changing world of work. Ensure vocational training and capacity building for women, farmers, workers, and business. Ensure growth and modernization of the informal sector where women seem to involve more, to confuse me. I wish you all good luck in your deliberations. Long live India and India.
Thank you so much, Excellency. We really appreciate the sportive spirit. I just want to take 1 minute to have everybody get a little grounded here. I want to say thanks to everybody who's come from different parts of the city just to be here to connect. Let's go back to the purpose, why we are here, why we've come together. So I know we're running an hour late, but I want you to give a round of applause to the timekeepers who sometimes don't get very good vibes from us. So the lovely timekeepers there. I want to thank this wonderful lady over here who's sitting here in 104 temperature. I touched her cheek, it's really warm. Everybody was going through something or the other. Those guys behind the console, they worked till 4 a.m. in the morning. They didn't sleep. They haven't had breakfast and they haven't had lunch. So let's take